Professor Proppa's lecture is now starting. Professor Proppa's lecture is now starting. Welcome, folks. I'm Professor Proppa here at PZU, and I here have a small video on the glossary of terms being used in DKO. It's been finally released by Hi-Res on their official Discord, and I'm just going to go through it with you in case you're not in the Discord. So, hope you enjoy. Hope this answers some of the questions you've had, answers some of my questions I've had with certain terminology in the game and things like the interrupts, etc. that haven't fully been explained before, so I'm hoping when we dive in that it will. So, let's take a look. Alright, this is their official Discord under the glossary section, so if you ever want to see it again, you can go right on Discord. Anyway, so here it goes. We're going to first talk about attack distance. Attack distance is how far out an attack will hit from. The warp distance is how far the character moves during the attack. And they explain the relationship between the two depends on hitbox sizes. So that's good to know. Clash, I think we all know, but it's when two attacks of the same type connect within a small window. They don't explain how small that window is. Let's say a split second, which they cancel each other out, and both players have that knockback effect, pushback effect to disengage. Here we go. Counters. This is something that was never fully explained, and I know annoyed a lot of people I know who played about it, but there's finally some light being shed on it. It's when there's two attacks of different types connect within that split second window, and then the attack with the higher priority wins, not necessarily which attack happened first, which was a common misconception, at least my friends had. So within that split second, ability will always beat heavy, which will always beat light. So that makes sense, but it's good that they finally laid it out. Crit should be self-explanatory, but it's a sweet spot featured on some abilities that provides a bonus effect and damage, such as Amaterasu's Sunseeker Dash and Thor's Mjolnir attunement. Crowd control. Fear is an effect that forces your character to run in random direction. Player loses control during the duration. This is with Izanami's ult. Slow, a state where your movement speed is impaired. Pretty obvious. There's a number of abilities to do that. Ymir's Ice Breath. Gosh, what was it? There's another one, but I can't remember at the moment. Stun, state where you're unable to move. Thor's Anvil of Dawn, which is his movement ability. Toss-up, a state where you are lifted off the ground and cannot alter movement. Example, Susanna's Swirling Tempest, which is his tornado. His tornado ability, his projectile ability, if I'm remembering correctly. Damage reduction is a state where you take a percentage amount less damage. Pretty easy. Dodge, it's a move that provides immunity frames and allows you to move. It's one of your basic abilities. End lag, post-fire, the amount of time after an attack or ability that animation needs to recover before the next one. I haven't actually heard that one, so that's interesting. Heal is obviously ability to, or talent that reduces your vulnerability. I call it the amount damage, your damage percentage. Specifically, there's leech, damage dealt will heal at an equal rate. I think they're referring to Thanatos' abilities, especially his ult. Hitbox, the area which an attack registers and applies damage. Self-explanatory. Interesting thing is the different attacks have different hitboxes. I mean, it makes sense when you think about the abilities, but good to know. Immunity, a state of complete immunity to damage, crowd control, knockback, etc. Immunity frames, the amount of time spent in the immune state. That's like Hercules' ult. Becomes completely immune, and you can see it. It'll say it on the screen over their character that they're immune. Interrupt, a state where you are hit during the casting of an ability and it cancels its activation. If you are interrupted early in the ability, it refunds the whole cooldown. If you're interrupted in between casting and hitbox activation, you will be refunded half the cooldown. So that's good to know about interrupt, but I really wish they did a better explanation on some examples. Some examples make sense, some do not. And it feels like some attacks will interrupt while others will not, or at least that's what it felt like in my experience. So I really wish they did a little more explanation on interrupt, so hopefully they will at some point. Invisible, a state where you're no longer visible to other players. Target assist no longer functions while target is invisible. Talking about Izanami and her leap ability. When she lands, she goes invisible. Knockback. Light knockback is a minor amount that generally won't knock out but will knock opponents away from objectives. Heavy knockback is significant amount that is ideal for those seeking to knock out opponents above 100% vulnerability. I think you can do it at 90 depending on where you are on the map, but go figure. Knockback resist, a state where you take a percentage amount less knockback. These start becoming more relevant when you're doing the talents, the perks, where you can make a talent tree, talent badge that will produce this result. Super Armor is a state where you can be hit and stunned but not receive knockback. Vulnerability is the amount of damage you have taken, how far you will be launched when hit. Based off percentage. It's not like regular numbers, it's all percentage. So, yep, this is it in a nutshell. I don't really have any answers to questions you have about this. If you have questions, I highly recommend you actually go to the DKO Discord. Pretty sure it's an option to join, and they send you a link. You can click a link in-game on the main menu. Pretty sure it pops up. So I highly recommend you do that if you are interested in getting more specific answers to your questions about these terms, what they truly mean, etc. You can find those in the official Discord. Just want to say thanks so much for watching. All my DKO content, I've been seeing an increased amount of subscribers, seeing a huge increase in views, thanks to the DKO lecture series, as well as our new lab series. So I'm going to continue doing DKO content for the foreseeable future. I'm hoping to branch out to other games, so feel free to leave your suggestions on future games I should make similar content to, what we would call courses. But I will be doing more DKO. I'm coming out with another beginner tips for specific characters this week. I'm looking at maybe Susano, but if anyone else has any suggestions on what they want to see from my DKO content, please let me know and I'll make it in our lecture video.